Dear students, greetings for the day. As we discussed about the various type of creativity in art in our previous communication and also learned various types of ingredients and fundamentals of creativity like style, logic, value and tools of art. In this video we have something new which is also essential part of fundamental of creativity in art. Today we will discuss some new points regarding creativity in art. What does actually illustration means? A picture is worth 1,000 words, right? But sometimes words and pictures together are necessary to get a point across well. Or music and pictures. Or pictures on a box. Illustrations open windows to further understanding different forms of communications. Pictures in a storybook, for example, help children learn language and help to open their imaginations. And properly selected images on well-designed packaging grab attention, set tone, and sell products, from food to software, from soft drinks to CDs. Quite simply, illustration is the art of creating images to complement expressions in other media. Several kinds of illustration bespeckle our daily communications, often taken for granted. Diagrams and charts show clearly what a writer or speaker is explaining. Cute little cartoon-like images scattered throughout magazine articles and employee handbooks give a friendly look, infuse a little humor, and add visual interest to a page. And no one would buy a greeting card without an illustration on the cover as integral to the message as the text itself. Illustration art, aka commercial art, is used to embellish, clarify, or decorate something. It can range from a simple black and white cartoon to a full-color billboard and beyond. Illustrators in the Golden Age were required to draw and paint expertly and fast. They might be required, in a few days, to provide artwork for a battle scene, a love story, a historical drama, a glimpse of the future, and a beautiful American girl. The best of the best commanded top dollar and were as famous as their Hollywood and Broadway pals. How it started. History of illustration. In the early time, the illustrations were prehistoric cave paintings. Before the invention of the printing press, books, such as medieval illuminated manuscripts, were hand-illustrated. Illustration has been used in China and Japan since the 8th century, traditionally by creating woodcuts to accompany writing. At the time of 15th century, books illustrated with woodcut illustrations became available and very popular. The main processes used for reproduction of illustrations during the 16th and 17th centuries were engraving and etching. Even engraving is very popular today itself. Types of illustrations. There are several types of illustration like engraving, etching, intaglio, lino cut, sumi-e woodcut, technical illustration. Daigolo and Msrui subcategorize the illustration art into the four techniques: drawing, painting, printing and pasting. These techniques affect the art in various ways, being chosen for the different impact the chosen medium produces. The choice can be based on the requirements of the illustration, constraints of the artist, cost, or other factors. As the paper gets discovered, it has pushed its boundaries even further. Traditional illustration has been developed and comprises of different approaches. It focused on reproducible ways of creating illustration and can be classified into different types. Engraving. Engraving is the practice of incising a design onto a hard, usually flat surface, by cutting grooves into it. The result may be a decorated object in itself, as when silver, gold, steel, or glass are engraved, or may provide an intaglio printing plate of copper or another metal for printing images on paper as prints or illustrations. These images are also called engravings. Traditional engraving, by Burino with the use of machines, continues to be practiced by goldsmiths, glass engravers, gunsmiths and others, while modern industrial techniques such as photograving and laser engraving have many important applications. Engraved gems were an important art in the ancient world, revived at the Renaissance, although the term traditionally covers relief as well as intaglio carvings, and is essentially a branch of sculpture rather than engraving, as drills were the usual tools. Etching. It is the process of using strong acid or mordant to cut into the unprotected parts of a metal surface to create a design and intaglio in the metal. The original process in modern manufacturing. Other chemicals may be used on other types of material. As an intaglio method of printmaking, it is, along with engraving, the most important technique for old master prints, and remains widely used today. Intaglio. Intaglio is another type of printmaking, derives from the Italian taglia to cut, preceded by in. It refers to a number of techniques in art, applied to many different materials, which all have in common that the image is created by cutting, carving or engraving into a flat surface, as opposed to a relief, where the image is what is left when the background has been cut away to leave the image apparently lifted up above the background. Lino cut. It is a printmaking technique, a variant of woodcut in which a sheet of linoleum, sometimes mounted on a wooden block, is used for the relief surface. A design is cut into the linoleum surface with a sharp knife, V-shaped chisel or gouge, with the raised, uncarved areas representing a reversal, mirror image, of the parts to show printed. In this process the linoleum sheet is inked with a roller, called a brayer, and then impressed onto paper or fabric. The Sumi-e, ink and wash painting is an East Asian type of brush painting also known as wash painting or by its Japanese name Sui-boku-ga or Sumi-e. Ink and wash painting is also known by its Chinese name Shui-mo-hua, Korean Samakwa, Vietnamese. Only black ink, the same as used in East Asian calligraphy, is used, in various concentrations. Woodcut, as the name of this technique is giving an idea that in this technique artists used to work on a block of wood. It is a variety of woodcut and so a relief printing technique, where ink is applied to the face of the block and printed by using relatively low pressure. A normal engraving, like an etching, has a metal plate as a matrix and is printed by the intaglio method. In wood engraving, the technique for working the block is different from woodcut, using an engraver's burin to create very thin, delicate lines, and often having large areas in the composition, though by no means always. It is traditionally utilizes the end grain of wood as a medium for engraving, while in the older technique of woodcut the softer side grain is used. Technical illustration. Technical illustration is the use of illustration to visually communicate information of a technical nature. Technical illustrations can be component technical drawings or diagrams. Technical illustration in general aim to generate expressive images that effectively convey certain information via the visual channel to the human observer. Nowadays, many illustration programs are used to create technical illustrations due to the need for detailed imaging and repeated updating. Besides the commonplace 2D Adobe Illustrator, there are many 3D computer graphics software like 3ds Max, Maya, Blender, Lightwave 3D etc. that are often utilized to create illustration for textbooks, especially scientific ones.